Hello, I'm Thomas Satina, and this is my second video for this global project. My partner for this project, as I said before, is Gilchrist Island, who is from the Ivory Coast. And so this past weekend, one of our events that I did with Gil was I brought him to a fraternity party at my house. And Gil and I actually hung out the whole day and kind of discussed, like, not really about where he came from, but just like we just hung out and had a good time. But here's a picture of Gil at the beginning of the day when he was about to come over. That's Gil. um, but anyways, so later that night, my fraternity party had my fraternity house had a party, and I brought Gil over. And when Gil was there at the beginning of the night, like, you could tell he was feeling a little bit awkward because he told me during the day he doesn't go out that much, so I was kind of skeptical about how he was going to interact with my friends and stuff. But at the beginning, he was actually kind of awkward. He was only talking to me and stuff, and when my friends would try to talk to him, like, he just didn't really like go into conversation with him or detail. But anyways, later on in the night, like, Gil started loosening up, like, we were having a good time, and all my friends ended up loving him. He, like, and after the night, he said it was one of the best nights of his life, of his college career, and I was just really glad to know that I had something to do with it. Here's a picture of me and my friends with Gil. Gil is in the blue shirt and the pink shorts. Uh, all my friends loved him. He had the time of his life. But anyways, earlier in that day, Gil and I were discussing how when he lived in the Ivory Coast, granted he only lived there for 4.5 years. He and his family, they they don't really celebrate many things. They celebrate, like, birthdays, and that's what they have their parties for. But, like, when he's with his friends or anything, they do not have parties. They never really went out and stuff. Granted, this was what Gil said his older siblings did, because Gil was only 4.5 throughout his life in the Ivory Coast, so he wasn't really sure of, like, what happened. So he had to ask his siblings what the social life was about. Um, I was actually very surprised at how well Gil interacted with my friends. Towards the end of the night, he was actually the life of the party. Everyone loved him. And then, um, it surprised me how in his culture they do not have, like, random events like this. They only celebrate certain things, whereas, like, here in America, you invite your friends over, you have a good time, and it just kind of turns into a party. He was not accustomed to that at all. Um, Gil has been here for 3 years now, at Michigan State for 3 years, and he said he had never gone to a fraternity party, and he loved it. Uh, Two things I would like to talk to or do with Gil. Hypothetically speaking, I would love going to the Ivory Coast just to see basically what it's like there. Um, he says it's a beautiful place, but I'm just kind of curious as to how, like, socially, like, our culture is different from theirs. He said, like, they don't have parties, which is what I said earlier, but I just want to know, like, what they do for fun and how they, like, what he does with friends there. And another thing is, um, I want to know what he does with his friends in his free time here in the United States, because he does not go out that often. So I'm curious to see, like, what he actually does. So the first event was a success, and for our next event, I'm going to is IM football game. So I'm looking forward to that. Yep, that's about it.